Hi everyone, another winter Wednesday morning, heading up north to the boatyard to get some projects done. It seems like every Wednesday morning when we go to do this, there's a fresh snowstorm to make the drive a little more interesting, but we're hoping to get a few things done today, and we'll take you along. This is a blow-by filter off the top of the engine. It takes an oily mist out of the top of the engine, runs it through a filter. It comes out of this hose. I'll show you on the other side. Would follow this hose along and come through here to the air filter. So what we're going to do today, it's not ideal to have this hose drooping down like this for the oil to settle in the bottom of the hose. It does it on both engines. So what we want to do is come from the blow-by filter and go up over top of the engine and come back down and tie it in to here. So we got some fittings. We're going to cut this hose and run it up along top of the engine so that no oil can accumulate in the lower part of this hose. So here we have it. We kept a small section of the original hose, put a PVC 90 in, and rerouted the hose across the top of the engine. And you can see I have it's zip tied to the hook that they use to move the engine. I'm not happy with this. I'm gonna get some better tie downs, maybe even a metal strap. But now the hose flows across the top. There's no low spot or belly to collect any oil, so we're going to call that one good. All right, that modification on the blow-by hose is done. Now we're going to do a little boat yoga and get back here and do the same modification on this side. You can see it's tucked way in on the outboard side of the port engine. You can see on the port side, pulled it off and got it out here in the daylight. Found a little split on the end. So we're going to go ahead and cut off that last little bit and start fresh there also. So good thing we took that off, good thing we found that. Well, got the second blow-by hose up and over the engine and tied into the air cleaner. Come around here for another look. All tied in, everything tightened down. I am going to get a heavy-duty tie or strap here just to hold the hose in place, but it's got good flow, no kinks. That's the port side. Everything over there looks good. Starboard side, a little easier to get to, up and over. Like I said, I'm going to replace that tie here before the end of the day. Everything's tied in, and we're going to call that one a wrap. Well, Kathy has got Andromeda all taped off, and today is bottom painting day. We're going to use some Seahawk. The bottom paint is in pretty good shape, but we figured while we have it out of the water and have the time, we get a fresh coat on. That's Kathy's workstation there for the next couple hours. Are you excited to paint the bottom?
Yeah. Can't wait.
Another scheduled maintenance item we wanted to get done today was to check the vibration dampers on the front of each engine. The vibration damper is this large wheel here, and it is filled with sometimes oil, sometimes silicone, but it's mounted to the front of the engine, filled with a liquid, and the centrifugal force helps to dampen the vibration of these giant engines. So there's one on the port side, and over here there's one on the starboard side. And the way you check that is first just look for any bulging or leaking, but then we have some calipers, and we're just going to run around with some calipers and make sure that they're fairly even all the way around both sides. For any family watching, these are my grandfather Gibson, Grandpa Gibby, his calipers from his toolbox, and he gave them to me, and they have been in my toolbox probably for 30 some years, and they are now on board Andromeda, and so finally getting to put them to good use. Thanks, Gramps. So that's it. It was easy to check, both visually and by hand and using the calipers. We were able to check both the port side and the starboard side. Both look good. It's a lot easier to do, obviously, right now once the front engine covers are off. I took those off to do a little repair work. Vibration dampers look good, no bulging, no signs of leaks, pretty even measurements all the way around, and we're calling that one good. So another maintenance item we want to try and knock off the list today is to tighten all of the exterior fasteners on the transmission. Recommended by the transmission manufacturer. It's in their scheduled maintenance once a year to just go around and tighten all the outside fasteners. A lot of the mechanics here at the boatyard say that it's not necessarily a problem, just visually kind of inspect them or inspect them with your hand, but I'm here and I'm just going to go through what I can get to real quick here just to make sure they're all tight, and then we can cross that one off the list. So here on the starboard side engine, and here's the transmission. Down below here is where we check our transmission fluid. There's where the transmission connects to the starboard shaft. The shaft out the shaft seal and through the bottom of the boat. So I'm going to go along the transmission, and again, any of the fasteners that I can get to or see, I'm just going to check, make sure they're all tight, at least hand tight, and nothing had wobbled loose. Okay, now I started in the back and got to each of the fasteners that I could get to, and I kind of went through each section all the way up until where the trans mounts to the engine block. I feel I got everything that I could get to. Of course, on a boat, there's always something that you can't get to, but we're going to call that maintenance item done on the starboard side, and I'm going to swing around here and get to work on the port side. Again, everything I can get to. Okay, starboard side trans. Got to, of course, everything I could get to. Found a couple of these fasteners in here. Needed a little, just a little bump, but they were pretty tight. Didn't find anything loose. This fastener here and this one here that have all the wires grounded to them, they were loose and needed to be tightened up, so good thing we went through it. So now, who'd you say was under there helping you? Your little buddy?
My little buddy, I found a spider under here. And I flicked him instead of swishing him, which then I regretted it instantly because I couldn't find him. Real bit huge, but he had a fat belly. I don't think it was.
This is just the way it is right now. Inventorying all of our spare parts. Boat is in total disarray while we go through our winter list and get things fixed up and get ready for our trip. Everything is kind of torn up and disheveled, and that's just life on the hard right now.